So, I have a question.
Yeah.
You talked about the emerging challenges of cities, the rate of urbanization increasing with population increasing. Are our local government administrators, especially elected officials we have, are they competent enough to make long-term policies
I
and
think
visions?
it's a very, very good question. In fact, I didn't want to say it in so many words. I think, competence இருக்கா இல்லையாங்கிறது வேற விஷயம். அவனுக்கு நாலேஜே இல்லை. இந்த மாதிரி ஒரு பிரச்சனை இருக்குன்னு many of them don't know. They don't know. I think it is also our duty to, train them, to do capacity building for them, to highlight that such issues exist. Right now, their priorities are different. They have won election with a certain mandate. They were doing certain things. They are really not aware, as you rightly said. They are really not aware. And we need mayors who are stalwarts. We want mayors. As I told you, that's why I started with the thing. We had Jawaharlal Nehru used to be mayor. Subhash Chandra Bose was a mayor. Patel was a mayor. Chairman of a municipality. Rajaji was the chairman of a municipality. In the mari aaluga irundite. You should expect stalwarts to be mayors. But for political considerations, we don't have really competent people. But I know there are some smart people also. For example, there's a lady who is my local councillor. She's very smart. She's very smart. I gave her this pep talk. I said, "Neenga summa the building a road, flyover in the Managati pannittirukadinga. Do something in more of green initiatives pannunga. Put up more parks, put up more trees, put up, save your in the area la improve panni kaatunga. And the mari, all the degraded lakes and tanks in your jurisdiction, they improve panni kaatunga." And she's been doing it. So there are some smart people, and her question is very right. There is a serious problem of competence and knowledge among the urban elected representatives.
So to add on to it, what do you think will fix it? Do they need more bureaucratic assistance, like sort of ministers have secretaries and stuff? Do we need, so what do you think will fix it? Do they need bureaucratic assistance or policy training, or what would fix it? What will you suggest?
No, see, the bureaucrats themselves need training to some extent, if you ask me. They also need to be sensitized to these issues. Some of the points which I mentioned, even bureaucrats are not fully sensitized. And I wouldn't call it a case of blind leading the blind and solamata. A case of the half blind leading the half blind mari poitrukku. It's a இது வண்டி போயிட்டுருக்கு, அது எத்தனை நாள் போகும்னு தெரியாது. பட் we should, Tamil Nadu, again, let me repeat, Tamil Nadu is one of the better administered states. It is definitely, in all respects, as I said, Tamil Nadu is, it's, நம்ம Dravidian model, அது இதுன்னு இலக்கரமாக பேசிட்டு இருக்கானுங்க. But actually, Tamil Nadu is a good model. I gave you the urban example. We have a lot of big cities also. Chennai is not the only big city. Karnataka மாதிரி கிடையாது. We have plenty, we have dispersed urbanization. And we have growth across all sectors. We are good in agriculture, we are good in, industry, we are good in services, we are good in renewable energy, we are good in, Chennai is, Tamil Nadu is doing well in all sectors. So, Tamil Nadu, so we are best placed to bring about this revolution, whatever I'm saying. Our elected representatives may seem, ஒரு மாதிரி போயிட்டுருக்கானுங்க அப்படின்னு நம்ம நினைக்கலாம். But I think it is our duty to brief them, sensitize them, and I'm sure that they will do it. They will rise up to the occasion. As I said in my thing, from my long experience, I worked about 10 years in this sector. I can say both in terms of competence and in terms of integrity, the elected fellows are better than the officials. That is my personal opinion. Definitely, மக்களுக்கு ஏதோ செய்யணுங்கிற எண்ணம் அவனுக்கு இருக்குது. செய்யணுங்கிற எண்ணம் இருக்குது. He's more responsive. But you can't say the same about the officials. I'm talking about the lower level officials.
The point you mentioned about megacities, especially managing megacities, you proposed the model of subsidiarity in which a lot of things comes. But India seems to be having this atomized management in the sense of police. Yeah. Do you still think that a unified central city management would work? Is there any step that's towards that direction?
No, it is necessary. I won't say it is necessary, but I don't think it is possible. The way our chaps are thinking, it won't happen.
When did the move away start? At least as far as I remember, MES got hived away during the 70s or something. Madras Electricity Board system. So do you see a coming back, or was it a political thing?
In my talk, I think I've criticized a lot of holy cows. I criticized Gandhi, I criticized MGR, I criticized, Abdul Kalam and so many people. They're all great people, no doubt. But each had its own angularities. Gandhi thought village panchayats were the solution to everything. We know that they are not, you know. And MGR, the mistake he made, I said, two mistakes he made. One, he didn't conduct the local body elections for 9 years from 77 to 86 because he thought local body election panna DMK alanga ange pudichukuanga appdinu solli idu pannam. Second mistake, which is an even more serious mistake MGR made, was, see, in the old Tamil Nadu Madras Panchayat Act 1958, the block panchayat was like a chairman was like a kuti CM. The BDO was like a kuti collector, CS or son. Agriculture, animal husbandry, rural industries, social welfare, health, education, all these came under the block panchayat. You know, the block panchayat, they were all doing fine. Nallave poittu irundhudu. MGR enna pannarna, சரி ஒன்று நம்ம எலெக்ஷன் எடுத்து டிஎம்கே இவங்களெல்லாம் வர கேப்சர் பண்ண விடக்கூடாது. அப்படி தப்பி தவறி கேப்சர் பண்ணாலும் கூட they should inherit a shell. ஒன்றுத்துக்கு ஆகாத ஷெல். ஸோ என்ன பண்ணார், this many of these doctors, for example, agricultural scientists, doctors, they didn't like the idea of working under a elected panchayat. BDO கீழே என்னென்ன நம்ம வேலை பார்க்குறது அப்படின்னு சொல்லி, the medical doctors, the veterinary doctors, the agricultural scientists, all these agricultural officers, all these, none of these guys liked working under the block setup. ஸோ அவங்க எல்லாம் நாங்கள் தனியாக போகணும்னு லாபி பண்ணிருந்தாங்க. எம்ஜிஆர் அதுக்கு ஒத்துக்கிட்டார். ஸோ he allowed all of them to go away. So finally every department went away. Agriculture went away from panchayat system, animal husbandry went away from the panchayat system, and public health went away from the panchayat system, education went away from the panchayat system. எல்லாமே ஒன்றா போயிடுச்சு. ஸோ ஒரு வாட்டி போனதுக்கப்புறம் திருப்பி கொண்டு வரது கஷ்டம். ஸோ ஐ திங்க் that mistake was committed in between 77 and 86, and I think it's difficult to rewind the clock. TWAD was always there. It's called a parastatal. That is there. No, that, see, there is a case I'll explain. Sorry if you don't mind. I don't know if you have heard of this term called parastatals. Parastatal is metro water, Chennai. It's a parastatal. It is not part of the Chennai Corporation. It doesn't come under the elected body. It is responsible for water and sewerage services. For the rest of the state, water and services in Chennai Corporation area. Rest of the state, there is a body called TWAD Board, Tamil Nadu Water and Drainage Services Board. Now these are classic parastatals, you know. Similarly, you have a housing board, Tamil Nadu Housing Board, Tamil Nadu Slum Clearance Board, now called Habitat Development Board or something. These are all parallel bodies. So there is one school of thought which says, in the parallel bodies abolish pannunga, give all the powers to the local bodies. But I personally think that it is not possible, because when you take Chennai city, water supply and sewerage for such a big city needs to be a specialized thing. You can't have engineers who worked last year in stormwater, this year in buildings, next year in this needs specialization. You need that. That is number one. Even TWAD board does a need for it, because ஒரு வில்லேஜில் தண்ணி இல்லாமல் இருக்கலாம், கிரவுண்ட் வாட்டர் எதுவும் இருக்கலாம், இல்லாமல் இருக்கலாம். தே மே ஹாவ் டு கெட் த வாட்டர் ஃப்ரம் எஃப்ஆர், ஃப்ரம் 100 கிலோமீட்டர்லேருந்து ஒரு ரிவர்லேருந்து கொண்டு வரணும். இந்த வில்லேஜால் அந்த இது கொண்டு வர முடியாது. whereas TWAD board can drop a scheme. It's called கூட்டு குடிநீர் திட்டம்னு சொல்லி, combined water supply scheme. They may take water from Kaveri and take it to 100 villages, some 50 towns and 20 municipalities along the way. அப்படியே கொடுத்துட்டு போவாங்க. So that kind of work, that economies of scale and efficiency and provision of service, a parastatal can do, which the local bodies can't. Individual local bodies can't be putting a scheme. But having said that, I strongly believe that metro water should not be purely official driven. I think there is some representation, but not enough. Minister, but I'm saying local bodies. For example, the mayor of Chennai, the deputy mayor, maybe a handful of I'm saying even this elected, no, they need not be accountable. What I'm saying is they can't be accountable, but at least they should have representation. It's like board representation, Mari. They should have, for example, even the housing board should have some sizable representation from this one. Slum clearance board should have. Housing board is statewide jurisdiction. Slum clearance board is statewide jurisdiction. But they should have representation of the elected, the smart guys. You can always find some smart guys and you can put them on the board. But I think the thinking thinking. So
another final question, sir. So in the 73rd and 74th constitutional amendment, there are some discretionary powers for the state government relating to giving autonomy for the local government, and many times it is ambiguous. Sometimes they are doing well, sometimes they actually don't do well. So how to address it? Reason that you believe in having rules intact or bringing some...
No, in fact, I would, this is a good question. See, I made this point in bits and pieces. See, you can't devolve powers and functions unless there is some, ஒரு 500 பாப்புலேஷன் இருக்க வில்லேஜ் பஞ்சாயத்துக்கு இந்த 29 ஐட்டம்ஸை கொடுக்க முடியாது. I mean, they don't have the capacity to do that. Similarly, many things you can give to Chennai Corporation, but you may not be able to give it to Gumidipudi municipality, or you may not be able to give to some Koilpatti town panchayat or whatever it is. I mean, so size matters, the financial resources matter. I think the university model can be adopted. University eppadiana, an affiliated college is given autonomous status subject to certain fulfillment of certain conditions. So in the local bodies something like that should have been thought of. If a local body fulfills certain conditions, then it can be given more powers and more functions. You can't give across the board to all local bodies. You can't devolve those 29 functions which are there in the 11th schedule across the board to all village panchayats from 500 population to 50,000 population. Some of them may be good, some of them may be bad, some of them may be ugly, some of them, you can't give matta kodukka mudiyadhu. I think the university system pattern is something which I have been advocating. But that requires an amendment to the constitution, so that's not going to happen. That is, nalla villages, nalla municipalities, nalla town panchayats paatha avangalukku adhigaram adhigama kodukkanum. That's what we should do.
உன் கடவுளை விட, உன் சாஸ்திரத்தை விட, உன் முன்னோரை விட, உன் வெங்காயம் வழக்கமாத்தை விட உன் அறிவு பெருசு, அதை சிந்தி.